Okay, so we're back and ready to deep dive into some of the most interesting stuff we've seen in a while.
Yeah, this is going to be good.
Yeah, it looks like we're focusing on the Pittsburgh Steelers and all the craziness surrounding their quarterback situation.
Lots of rumors flying around.
Definitely, and especially with Aaron Rodgers' name being thrown into the mix.
Right. It's like NFL free agency is a breeding ground for speculation.
Exactly. And, you sent over a really interesting collection of sources like news articles, search terms, all sorts of things.
Wanted to get a complete picture, you know?
For sure. So let's see if we can unpack all of this and figure out what's really going on with the Steelers and maybe even make some predictions.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so looking at these search terms right off the bat, there's a lot about the Steelers. Obviously, Steelers news, Aaron Rodgers, Steelers, the basics.
Yeah, but it's not just about Rodgers, though, right? I mean, you've got Steelers depth chart in there, too.
That's true. Good catch. So it seems like whoever put this together is thinking about the bigger picture, the overall roster.
Exactly. They're probably wondering if the Steelers even have the pieces in place to be competitive regardless of who's at quarterback.
Yeah, that's a really important point. It's easy to get laser focused on the quarterback, but you need a solid team around them to really succeed in the NFL.
No doubt about it.
And speaking of important figures, there's also Jerry Dulac and Mike Tomlin in the mix.
Ah, the Steelers general manager and head coach?
You got it. Looks like we can't ignore the decision makers in Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. They're the ones calling the shots. They'll ultimately decide whether to pursue a big move like going after Rodgers or sticking with what they have.
And those decisions aren't always popular with the fans, right?
Not always. I mean, some fans think they've been a little too conservative in recent years, too hesitant to make those splashy moves.
So their every move is going to be scrutinized even more closely this offseason.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Every press conference, every little whisper is going to be analyzed to death.
Okay, so then we have this curveball, NY Giants news.
Yeah, that one seemed a bit out of place at first.
Totally.
Yeah.
Is this a red herring, or could there be a connection to the Steelers situation?
Well, I think it's smart to look at other teams facing similar challenges. The Giants also have some big questions at quarterback.
Yeah, makes sense. So maybe whoever compiled this is trying to compare how different teams approach these situations.
Right. Maybe they're looking for insights or patterns or trying to figure out the best strategy.
It's like a case study in NFL team building.
Exactly.
And then to add another layer, we've got ESPN NFL thrown in there.
Oh, yeah. ESPN, the mothership of sports news.
So whoever put this together is clearly doing their research. They're looking at a variety of sources.
And that's crucial because not all sources are created equal, right? You got to compare and contrast and think critically about what you're reading.
100%. ESPN can be a great starting point, but it's always smart to get different perspectives.
Agreed. It's all about forming your own informed opinion.
Okay, so let's circle back to the main event, Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. What would it even look like for the Steelers to solidify their future at quarterback, and could Rodgers be the answer?
Well, when we talk about solidifying future at quarterback, we're talking about finding someone who can lead the team for years to come. Ideally, someone with championship potential. It's not just about filling a hole, it's about finding the right long-term fit.
Gotcha. So how does Rodgers fit into that equation? I mean, he's obviously a tremendously talented and experienced quarterback, but he's also getting up there in age.
Right, that's the big question mark. He could come in and provide an immediate boost, that veteran leadership that the Steelers might be craving. He could potentially elevate the team's overall performance, maybe even make a Super Bowl run.
That would definitely get the fans excited.
Oh, absolutely. But there's also the flip side. His age is a factor. His contract is a factor. Acquiring him could be really expensive, both in terms of what you have to give up in a trade and the hit to your salary cap.
So there's a real risk-reward calculation there.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it might limit the Steelers' ability to address other needs on the roster, which, ties back into that Steelers depth chart search we were talking about earlier.
Right. It's a complex situation with a lot of moving parts.
It always is in the NFL.
Well, it seems like whoever compiled these sources is definitely a dedicated and informed fan. They're doing their due diligence.
Absolutely. They're asking the right questions and digging deep into the Steelers' options.
And that's what makes this whole thing so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's not just about the rumors. It's about the strategy, the analysis, the passion that fans bring to this.
It's about the love of the game.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
And as we wrap up, here's a little food for thought. What would a truly successful season look like for the Steelers to you, regardless of who's playing quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, think about what really matters to you as a fan. Is it wins and losses? Is it individual player development? Is it seeing a team that plays with heart and grit?
Those are all great points. It's easy to get caught up in the hype, but sometimes you have to step back and define success on your own terms. So keep those things in mind as you follow the Steelers and really the entire NFL offseason. It's going to be a wild ride.
Buckle up.
Happy deep diving, everyone. We'll see you next time.
See?